Hey everyone, and welcome to the Trey Mitchell podcast. I am your host, Trey Mitchell, and I'm joined here with a very special guest from Octu itself. We have Mr. Porg here. Just kidding. We have the Geek Keenan from YouTube. Keenan, you are on YouTube as the Geek Keenan, right?
Heck yes, and I like that. I like being the porg. That's a pretty cool nickname for me in the future, I guess.
Porgs are great, and we're going to talk about porgs on this episode of the Trey Mitchell podcast. But first, we have some breaking news via Jeff Snyder at the Snyder on Twitter. And if you guys don't know, Sony announced a standalone Venom movie that doesn't take place in the MCU. How that's going to work, I don't know. But they cast Tom Hardy as Venom, so everyone's kind of like, okay, that adds some credibility to it. But Jeff Snyder
hmm
just tweeted, updated on the Venom story. Sources are torn on Riz Ahmed's role, but one I trust insists it's Carnage, which Riz is believed to have auditioned for. So, Keenan, we now might have Carnage in the Venom movie too, but no Spider-Man, and Riz Ahmed could be Carnage. What are your thoughts on that, and do you believe that he's actually going to be Carnage?
I'm not so sure he's going to be Carnage. What's funny is that, like, literally earlier this week, there were rumors that Sony wanted to use Craven and Mysterio for their Venom movie. So, I mean, these things kind of go everywhere, but Jeff Snyder is pretty reliable for the most part when it comes to these rumors and scoops. So, overall, I mean, I'm just glad that Riz Ahmed is involved because I really do like him as an actor. But I think we probably both agree on this. Other than Tom Hardy, I haven't been overly excited for this whole like separate Spider universe or anything like that. So
Well,
that's just kind of where I stand on that. I'm also kind of bummed out if it is Carnage that we're not going to see Spider-Man and Venom, and we're not going to see Spider-Man or Carnage. So that's kind of a bummer to me.
yeah, it's hard for us to fathom how they're going to make this movie without Spider-Man. I
hmm
mean, it's like having a Batman movie, the Joker, but Batman doesn't exist. It's kind of like, Venom literally is a symbiote. Yes, yeah, that's the right word. Like,
Yep.
embodies Spider-Man pretty much. Like, that's how it works. And
It starts with Spider-Man.
yeah, it's just kind of like how are they going to do that? But I mean, if Tom Hardy signed on to the role, the dude's
It's got
not
to be
just,
good.
yeah, he's not just going to do anything. And I think they're going to take a
hmm
more horror aspect to it. And,
The only
what?
I was just gonna say that um, I I have heard that Tom Hardy is a huge fan of the character. So you can take that for what it's worth. I mean, either he took the role because he just loves the character, or maybe he took the role because he loves the character and there's a great script. So just a quick thing to throw out there.
Yeah, so Riz Ahmed may or may not be Carnage. I mean, I think it'd be cool if he was Carnage. I don't know a ton about
Oh yeah.
either of those characters, like that much. But it would be cool if Carnage was in it. He looks really cool, and I think it'd be great. Although I don't know, what he'd do in the movie, considering we have no Spider-Man. But Riz Ahmed
hmm
Carnage, that would be cool. I would rather him be in the movie as Carnage than be in the movie as something else. What if he's Spider-Man?
That'd be cool. That'd be
That
really cool.
that would be kind of cool. How
I know
tall
a
is
lot
he?
of people
He's
would
like
probably
five
hate
ten,
that.
probably. Yeah, 5'10" is exactly the right height of Spider Man. But
hmm
well, that would be kind of interesting too. But yeah. So now we're gonna move on to our main thing we're gonna talk about today, and that is the Entertainment Weekly Last Jedi photos. And today, Entertainment Weekly revealed a bunch of pictures from the Last Jedi, and Keenan and I are gonna kind of go through each photo, and then after we kind of talk about each image, we're going to talk about some things in the Entertainment Weekly article that kind of dive deeper into the Last Jedi and kind of explain some things. So we're going to go through the photos, and then after that, there is some plot points in the Last Jedi that could be considered spoilers. So if you guys just don't want to know anything, just stay around for our kind of just thoughts on each of the pictures, and then after we go through the pictures, we're gonna talk about some of the more meat of the article. So you are warned, but no spoilers right now. We're just gonna go through each picture, and the very first picture we have is of Rey on Act Two. Pretty standard photo. It's just her with a brick rocks background. Not much to say there, Keenan. You have anything to say about this first one?
Um,
She looks
Nothing
concerned.
new. Daisy Ridley looks good though. I'll never complain about getting more images of Daisy Ridley as Ray.
That
So,
sounded really creepy. But
uh,
I mean, I like her outfit very much in this picture.
same.
I like the collar looks kind of cool. But
Hmm.
I think what she's wearing in the second photo is cooler.
Hmm.
And the second photo we have her hair, in the triple bun, and she has a staff, her staff. She's wearing some kind of cloak, and then we got Luke in some kind of cave, and it looks like this is the same cave that he says it's time for the Jedi to end. That looks like the same cave that he says that in.
Right.
So this picture looks really cool. I'm really excited to just see the interaction they have. Keenan, what are your thoughts on this picture? And I mean, do you think this picture was kind of just staged, or do you think this is actually like a shot in the movie?
I think it's like kind of, yeah, more than likely it is kind of staged. They were probably in between takes or something like that, to get a shot that good, in my opinion. But this is one of my favorite pictures of the whole article or that was released.
Yeah.
Just because I'm really interested to kind of get an idea of what the dialogue is between the two characters. They're very, just based on the pictures, you can see that they're kind of like on opposite sides of the spectrum. So that's just kind of what I take out of it. It seems like Luke is kind of reserved and hiding out in that cave. Um, I love the I guess like the cloak or the robe. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's Luke's and she took it. I mean, I don't know where else she would get it.
Yeah, it looks very similar to the one that he had on at the end of The Force Awakens.
Maybe she stole it from some porgs.
Yeah. But that photo right there is like one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah, me too. I just had a really stupid thought, what if porgs are the Knights of Ren?
That dude, don't say that because that's gonna end up on every Reddit, like every subreddit,
Porgs are Snoke.
and then like in like 24 hours from now, you're gonna be like debunking your own theory. I can see it now.
Yeah. I mean, that would make people listen to the podcast, so I'm all for that.
That'd be
But
dope.
yeah. So that picture is really cool. Like Keaton said, every picture we get of Rey and Luke, it just is more. It anticipates us for the movie because that's really what we want to see. At least for me, primarily is Rey and Luke.
Same.
I know it's a lot of similarities, which we're gonna dive deeper into the possible similarities between Episode 5 and Episode 8. But I mean, we still really want to see it. I think the end of The Force Awakens was probably one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars.
Oh, dude, with the music.
The only thing I don't like is the helicopter shot at the end. That just didn't feel like Star Wars to me. But like, just da 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 da, like the Jedi, like the
as she's
way that they
climbing.
mix the Force theme and like her theme, kinda. It's just
Yeah.
really really cool. And
Oh, dude,
actually,
I got chills.
actually, something that's kind of a side note. I went to a panel at Denver Comic Con called "The Music of Star Wars." If you look at the notes of Rey's theme, it actually parallels the hero's journey. So you kind of start off, you kind of escalate, and then you have like a peak, and then you go down, and then you come back up again. So that's kind of
That's
cool.
why it blends.
Yeah,
It blends so well together.
yeah, but the end of Force Awakens was cool. So I'm really excited to see how they start off. And everything we've heard is that they start off right where we left off, pretty much. So I can already kind of just hear the dialogue in my head, and I'm really really excited to see that in the movie.
Same.
So the next picture we have here is Finn and Rose Tico. Rose is sort of an engineer who kind of gets thrusted into the plot of The Last Jedi. She really was never expected to be much. She kind of sees Finn as this big deal. We'll talk about that more later. But, I'm getting really big Han Solo vibes from Finn here. He didn't button up his shirt. He literally looks like he just steals Poe's wardrobe.
True.
I'm pretty sure that's Poe's shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
It may just be what they gave him.
I know he only wore a freaking stormtrooper outfit his whole life, but man, like, you got to go to like Padme's School of Fashion,
I know.
That needs to be a thing. That needs to be a thing. Like the Naboo fashion designer.
That's gonna be a panel at next year's like Comic-Con or something.
Dude, I would go. I would be. I mean, the prequels have a lot of really cool costume designs.
Oh yeah.
I actually went. I keep talking about Denver stuff, but I went to there was a Star Wars art museum in Denver, and it travels, and I saw a ton of actual costumes from the movies, and a lot of it was Padme's, and it's just crazy the designs that go into her. It's really really cool. But just going back to this picture, I mean, it looks like they're on some ship, I guess, some resistance ship.
Right.
What do you say about this picture, and kind of what do you expect from these two in the movie?
Yeah, I definitely going to be teaming up for sure. There's not really a lot to get out of it. I agree that they're on a ship. Agree 100% with the outfit similarities. Kind of curious as to what they're actually looking at. But
I think
I
it's
kind of.
Leia.
You think so?
Yeah, because what we've
Probably
seen.
having some sort of meeting.
Yeah, there's a picture we see later of Leia kind of around this central hologram thing, and I think they're looking at that. But the look Rose has
Sure.
is some kind of look like it. She's not very happy, you know. It's
Yeah.
almost like they're getting mission, kind of objectives, and she's like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. And
So
Finn's just kind of okay.
just for clarification, Rose has a sister, right? Is she a
Her name is
pilot?
Paige.
Okay, and she is actually going to be in this movie. Maybe.
How do I say this? She won't be in it for long.
Okay.
That
That's all I need to know.
yeah. Spoiler, I guarantee you she dies, and that's why
Mhm.
Rose wants to fight. That's pretty I mean, everything I've heard is yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, like that's I haven't like heard from like a source, but I've heard people speculate that that's what happens. So sorry if I spoiled it, but I mean, her sister
I kind of
Paige
set you up
is
for
gonna
that.
be in it
So
for like a second. Because okay, oh god, here's what's gonna happen in my opinion. Okay, no, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But Keenan, I will tell you after the episode.
okay.
Actually, yeah. So yeah, just kind of this picture is cool, but I mean, there really isn't a lot to say about it.
No.
There is some stuff to say about Rose and Finn, but like I said earlier, that will sort of dive into the spoiler-ish stuff. So I know a lot of people don't want to hear any of it, so we will save that for after we go into each individual picture. And then the next picture we have is my favorite picture of all time. It is the one and only Chewbacca and a porg. A porg is on the Millennium Falcon. It looks like a freaking Webkins. And it looks so nice.
It looks like a Furby.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you remember Furbies?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I can see that. It looks already like a Funko. Like, this thing,
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy everything, Porg. Like, we thought BB-8 sold. This thing. Oh my god, they're gonna make money off this.
That's what makes me wonder. Like, I love the picture, and I love that the look that Chewie is giving the Porky. Definitely has some sort of problem with the Porgs. My question is like, yeah, I want to know, like, they're like really pushing these Porgs
Dude, I
on
love
people.
it though.
I don't know if it
so
is for
cute.
merchandise or is there like an actual role for them in the movie?
I mean, I don't think the casual fan knows what those are yet. I think it's just us nerds.
They probably like they must like lay freaking kyber crystal eggs or something. Like there's something like significant about these things, or they're just trying to like sell stuff, which I have no problem with. I will buy everything Porg. Like I have no problem with that.
What if they're called Porgs because they just say Porg? Like that's all they say.
Oh freak! Like my heart will explode.
Porg.
Like Porg.
Yeah. But I mean,
Oh, what happened?
I'm just curious. Like, did Chewbacca get so lonely that he's like just speaks Porg and is like, "Hey, you want to come on this ship? I kind of lost my co-pilot. He got stabbed by his son, but you know, there's a vacancy. You want to chill? Okay, sure."
So weird. It's like something you stick on like the dashboard of your car that kind of like bobbles its head.
Oh my god. I'm gonna if they don't actually release that, I'm gonna build that. I'm an inventor.
Yeah, true.
Mark Wahlberg. But it just looks just the look Chewbacca is giving is the look I gave my sister when I had to give her my car, and then I had to sit in the passenger seat of my own car and watch her drive. I'm like,
I could see that.
It's not a good feeling. But yeah. So that's a great picture. I love that picture. I posted it on Instagram. I posted it on my Snapchat story. I just love it.
So
Anything else you
cute.
want to say about that one before we go to the next picture?
I'm good because I really want to talk about this next one.
Dude, this next one is my favorite one. And okay, so these, uh, the next picture is these. Let's see, they're female
Caretakers.
nuns pretty much on the island that don't really like Luke, but they just kind of tolerate him. So, and they've been around for thousands of years. I had this nun at my school, and I sent this picture to my friend Claire, and I was like, so the nun's name was Sister Charlene, and I sent it to my friend Claire, and I was like, yo, Sister Charlene did not age well, because these things are like nuns. And I've seen people on Twitter say Disney's Dinosaurs remake looks great. Uh,
Oh my god,
I
that's
mean, the
awesome.
one on the right looks like a turtle. The one on the left looks like a dinosaur turtle mix.
Right.
It's so weird. This is so weird that these are things, but it's awesome too.
I didn't think it was real the first time I saw it. I was like, are these like I was like, what is this? Like I had no idea what to think of this. I'm like, are these things like gonna talk? Like, because they don't look from what I see, they don't look super CGI. They kind of look
No, actually,
practical.
they're real. Daisy Ridley's friend plays one of them.
Are these things tall or are they short? I can't really get it,
I bet they're like 8 feet tall.
dude. Okay, you just blew my mind because I was thinking like these things are like 3 feet tall, like Maz Kanata height. But if these
I
things are
mean,
like tall, they're kind of
just
freaky.
from the image, scale wise, I wouldn't think they're tall, or I wouldn't think
Hmm.
they're short. But I'm really excited for them. I'm really excited to see
Dude,
these
Luke's on an island just full of women, just
and porgs.
sitting around in Borg.
Actually, so there's some info in the article about these creatures, and I don't think it's spoiler at all. So let's just talk about
Mm-mm.
it. So they said that they're kind of like a fish bird type aliens who live on the island, said Ryan Johnson. They've been there for
Hmm.
thousands of years, and they essentially keep up these structures on the island. The caretakers are slightly more anthropomorphic than the porgs. I don't know what that means. They're animated with a person inside. Daisy Ridley said a friend played one of them, and they wear clothes and speak an alien tongue. They're all female, and I wanted them to feel like a remote sort of little nunnery. Ryan Johnson said. Neil Scanlon's crew designed them, and costume designer Michael Kaplan made these working clothes that also reflect sort of a nun Spartan sort of existence. They can communicate with Luke, what Johnson describes as a blubbery sort of Scottish fish talk.
Oh
But
God.
my roommate is Scottish, so I'm interested to see how he thinks of this. But they're not thrilled to have him hanging around. Johnson says that they tolerate his presence, and the forest is connected with life. Yoda's world of Dagobah was a swamp teeming with flora and fauna. In this sort of ocean world would naturally evolve beings who are drawn to this sacred place. Johnson said that they're amphibians and have risen up from the seas to tend to the buildings on this craggy, man, some of these words in these craggy archipelago eons ago. You get the sense that they didn't. You get the sense that they did at some point. Maybe they occasionally do return to the sea, but when we see them, they're land creatures. Johnson says these are big, matronly creatures, but they have these little skinny little. They have these little skinny bird feet. They're really fun to work with on set. Um, all of that makes me even more hyped that they have tiny bird feet. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. Like,
This movie is gonna be very weird.
dude, like, I mean, you, Lou's gonna be training Ray, and then you just see one of these things in the background, just
God.
walking around, and then Luke's just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, those are the nuns." like, I'm
Like
so excited for
you're
this,
just gonna they're all just like trash talking each other on the island.
dude. I honestly hope that they trash talk Luke, but they speak their like language, and then there's
Own language.
and then there's like subtitles under it.
I
Like,
know.
they're like, oh, that girl's very ugly, even though they're just monsters.
Dude. Like well, first they say that they're huge, they're big creatures, so that answers that question.
True, I was right.
They've risen from the sea.
Godzilla.
This okay, first of all, this is unlike anything we've really seen in Star
It's
Wars,
great.
but I'm really digging it. Like
Is
I'm
it
really
unlike
digging it.
anything though? I mean, Star Wars is known for the crazy aliens.
Yeah,
Except,
but dressed as
Okay,
nuns?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the weird thing. 'Cause they're nuns. Man, dude, I like this is gonna be some weird throwbacks to
Scottish
middle
fish
school for
talk?
me. Yeah, I'm so excited to hear the blubber that they sound like.
Oh my god. Dude, this is
This honestly hyped me way more than I ever thought it. Like this made me more excited than the next picture of the Pantorian guards. Like that's the weird thing about this.
that's hilarious actually.
I want to learn about them more than Snoke, dude.
They're gonna have their own anthology film.
Oh, what if we see them battle like the porgs with the lightsaber? Like, okay,
Oh my god.
space nuns versus porgs battle of star like
There will be
Disney.
some sort of
We
comic.
have idea. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the perfect place for these kind of things.
Hmm.
I bet they appear in like the Poe comic. Well, they're kind of at this one island, so actually probably not. But yeah. So let us know what you guys think of those nuns, especially if you went to Catholic school. I'm curious what you say. But the next picture we have of Snoke's Pantorian guards, we will go into more detail about them in the spoilerish section. But you know, what do you think of their sort of samurai-ish design? It's almost like how do they see?
Dude, this is I don't think they do, but
That would be cool.
uh
Do you think they're force sensitive then?
yeah, or maybe something very similar to like just
Sort of Knights
like
of Renish. Maybe they are
or
parts of
like some
Knights of
sort
Ren.
of they study like the wills of the force or
That's
something
interesting.
similar to Chirrut would
Gotcha.
be really interesting. Like, dude, I'm really excited to see these. Like, really excited. I know you like the blubbery nuns, but this was like my favorite thing to see. Dude, it's so weird. For some reason, they remind me of like some sort of like bad guys you'd see on like the old Power Rangers, if that
It's like
makes sense at
yeah,
all.
yeah. This like the faceless goons.
Yup.
I can see
But
it.
I mean, I'm really intrigued by the red. Red seems to be like a very central theme of the whole movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love the colors of that, and I love their weapons. Um, but yeah, the faceless thing without eyes really intriguing to me.
I personally think they look cooler than the Imperial Guards.
Hundred
I
percent.
think that they look more ready for battle, and I'm pretty sure in the article it says they will fight. But you know, like Keenan said, I mean, it looks like samurai with football pads on their shoulders,
True.
and it just looks really cool.
I think Ray's gonna go up against a couple of those just based off like this is not really spoilers, but based off of the training scenes that were showing the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, I
A
could
lot of
definitely see that.
a lot of combat type of training. Like she was going up against three dudes. I know there's not three people with lightsabers going to fight
Dude,
her. So,
it was the the nuns.
oh my god, dude, what if they end up training? They end up training Ray.
I heard
I'm
of
gonna get off
something else
topic.
on the island that's gonna train Ray. We can
What
talk.
the giant monster?
Yeah, we can talk about that later. But yeah. So, I mean, those Pantorian guards look is just so cool. They really been like we've seen a lot of promotion of them recently, just
Mm-hmm.
within toy packaging,
Toys.
pinball machines, whatnot. But it's really cool. And then this next picture is Finn in what looks like some kind of ship. And Keenan, if you look at this picture and then you look at the Last Jedi trailer, you know that shot of those ships with the dragon, like the red dust.
Yeah, it's like that.
This is
Where they
that.
like the
This is in the.
ski
Yeah, this is that.
ski
Guarantee
racers or
you
whatever.
that. I guarantee you this is that scene. Because you look at the.
100%.
Because you look at the left corner and there's red.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Unless
that's
he's
definitely
dragging some Pantorian guards around, it would make sense. And well, what is that planet called?
Crate.
Yeah, Crate. That's a cool name, Crate.
I love
And
it.
I don't know, man. Finn looks determined. It looks really, really cool. I
He
like this
looks like he's having
picture.
some fun.
I mean, it's like Top Gun. Like
Yeah, yeah.
like you start playing.
Dude, he looks like Tom Cruise in a way.
What?
Or not? Yeah, he does. I mean, he's
It looks
black,
not.
but dude, just look at that face.
I don't see Tom Cruise at all.
All right, well, I need to take a nap then.
I see more Denzel.
Yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Tom, John Boyega looks like Tom Cruise. I'm gonna tweet that later.
Okay.
But this, he actually has his own outfit. He didn't steal one now.
True.
Actually, we don't know that yet. But
That may just be what they wear when they drive those things.
he's never chosen his own outfit before. Think about it. Never.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
But what do you think of this picture?
I love it because I see him taking the call to action, and we'll get into a little bit more stuff. But it seems like he's confident and having fun. Reminds me of when he first was when he first was in the TIE Fighter, and him and Poe were having their kind of like escape, and then when he was the gunner on the Millennium Falcon, kind of like brings back those old vibes where he's kind of like, just taking the call to action and getting involved. So it's dope.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's having fun, which we'll talk about some stuff later in the episode. But, I mean, it's a cool picture. I like the expression he has on his face, and this makes me think it's a screenshot from the film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the next picture we have Kylo Ren's, I don't remember what it's called. It's his TIE Fighter.
Yeah, this one isn't a screenshot.
You don't
All
think
practical.
so?
No.
I'm
I'm kidding.
What? We literally have the laser being fired.
Yeah.
But dude, his ship looks cool. What do you think of it?
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite ships right now. Like, I love it.
It looks sort of like the, for the biggest Star Wars fan I am, the TIE Defender.
Talking about the ones from Return of the Jedi?
No. The ones on Scarif. The TIE No, I don't remember but it looks like, the ones on Scarif and Rogue One. It looks sort of like that to me.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. Like, I love everything Kylo Ren. And I know a lot of people have problems with Kylo Ren, but I really do think he's really compelling, and I love this ship.
Tanner,
Like, I'm just so pumped to see him actually fly it.
Yeah, my friend Tanner loves Kylo Ren. It's like he hates him. This does
Really?
look really. I mean, Han Solo is like his favorite character, so you can understand. You can understand that. But this picture does look really cool. We got space battles. We see that here. I wonder, because that shot in the Last Jedi trailer is towards the end where you see a bunch of ships in outer space.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Kylo Ren is part of that attack against the Resistance, and that's this.
That'd be
shot.
so cool.
Maybe he, blows up a ship or like attacks a ship and stuff, and Leia's on it.
Poe versus Kylo Ren, dude.
That would be cool. But what if he like hits Leia, sort of? Not like,
oh my gosh.
not killing her, but injuring her.
Dude, that'd be so emotional.
Because I've heard that she gets. Shut up.
Shh.
I need to shut up. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool picture. I'm definitely excited for this TIE Interceptor. I might get the Black Series of it. It just looks really, really cool. Not TIE Interceptor, whatever Kylo Ren ship is called. Comment in the whatever you're listening, where you're listening to this comment section, of what it is, because I don't remember.
For real.
I don't want to look it up. But any last thoughts on that picture?
No, I'm just excited for it. Like everything, I'm just super excited, and that's really that. I mean, is this the first time we're seeing it in a picture? I know we've seen the toys of it. We haven't gotten any other pictures, right?
I think there's been something, but not an official picture. Like,
okay,
I've seen it was concept art. It was
same thing. I mean, it's really cool to see it.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next picture is very cool. It's of Canto Bight. I called it Canto Blight for like a month, and I felt like a freaking idiot after I heard there was no L in it, and I took the L. But this place looks really cool. It's sort of a casino, from what we've heard. You see this? What do you think of it? And okay, I have a question. Do you see those? See, like, sort of the bottom right? There's sort of an H structure.
H structure, bottom right.
Of the Canto Bight picture, like there are these like things that are.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Well, they're all throughout the picture. If you look at the bottom, sort of, they're scattered. What do you think those are? Is that
some sort of guns? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But you would think, in a casino type place, why would those be here? It definitely interests me. I'm very curious.
I don't know. You can't. I mean, you really don't know. Maybe
I mean,
for all we know, they just.
this almost looks like a prison to me personally.
Yeah, it does kind of have that feel to it, actually.
And I guarantee you, this is where we're gonna meet Benicio del Toro's character DJ.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I kind of get some Camino vibes from this.
Hmm.
I think it's just sort of the lighting. I don't think it's anything like Camino, but I just think it's kind of the lighting, and then the structure at the top left corner just looks like one of those Camino structures.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I like it.
yeah, me too. It's a cool picture, and I think it's the first picture we've actually seen of Canto Bight, so that's cool.
Yeah, at least on the outside. I like the change of scenery.
It's a beautiful location where they shot it. I don't remember where it is, but I looked it up,
Right.
and it's beautiful.
I have to look that up myself.
They shot some Game of Thrones there, so any of you Game of Thrones people.
I'm not.
Yeah, I watched. Okay, we're not gonna get into this. I'll just trigger people. But okay, so let's move on to some of our last pictures here. We got two pictures here. One of them we've seen from the Last Jedi behind the scenes. It's of Leia
Yep.
with Ryan Johnson, and then one of them is just I forget the producer's name with Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson. Anything you want to say for these?
Not really.
I feel. And then the last pictures we're going to talk about before we kind of go more in the spoiler-ish territory are the Entertainment Weekly covers. So the first cover we have is of Luke Skywalker, and it's badass. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I agree with you. This is my favorite thing that's come out picture-wise for Luke, I think.
I totally agree with you. I saw that and I'm like, this stands out to me. Because you know what? If you saw this, man, you don't think this guy's good. Nothing about him says I'm a good guy. You know, you could say you finally say that this picture takes place in episode 6. The throne room turns around and that's the emperor. Like
Right. Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
like he literally looks like he has the emperor's robes.
If you
Holy
Photoshop
crap.
the emperor's face into that, you would not be able to tell
Do it.
any difference.
Do it.
Do it.
Someone do it. But yeah, it's a really man. I wish they
Super dark.
I wish they would just release this picture without the damn words. Because I would
Yeah.
frame that. I would legit. Okay, actually, I have a lot of. I have like 20 pieces of artwork I need to frame, but I would frame this one too, because it looks dope. I also like the Star Wars font at the very top. Looks it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I think. I mean, when does this? I heard that this comes out Friday, but I don't know about that because I feel like they would have. Oh wait, August 16th. No, August 18th.
Oh, that's not till
Might be.
next.
Might be.
What's that? Next Friday?
Yeah, because that's 2 days before I drive back. And then the next picture we have, I'm pretty sure we've seen this. Just Rey with the lightsaber, the lightsaber that's in my room, that I can probably say is in every Star Wars trilogy, and it was the cheapest one on eBay. But it's a really cool picture. Regardless, she looks hella fly.
Yeah, this is once again one of my favorite Rey things that have come out. Dude,
Have you ever disliked anything Rey though?
Never. I don't think not one thing. Like every time when there's something Rey that comes out, like it's almost like I always happen to just flip on my phone to Twitter at the right time when these things come out,
Rey
and then like my heart
notifications.
kind of explodes. Yeah, and then I'm like share, and I like walk around the house and share it with everyone else. Like I
Mom!
love it. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I have a question for you. Have you seen the Murder on the Orient Express trailer?
Dude, I'm actually really hyped for that movie. I liked the trailer. Some people didn't like it. I loved it.
Okay. The thing is, it's a good trailer, and then the choice of music is so stupid.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't I'm pretty sure it's Imagine Dragons, right?
yeah.
It's Imagine Dragons Believer. It like
doesn't-
doesn't
it doesn't fit.
What's like they should be playing some,
Who owns the
Grando
studio?
classic. What?
We need to figure out the studio that's releasing this movie because I have a feeling it's the same studio that put Kanye West in Assassin's Creed.
I was literally just thinking that. Okay, the thing is, movie studio trailers suck these days. Like,
Yep.
you get kids like me, my friend Nolan, Casey, all these people on Twitter can edit the hell out of stuff. Like, and you see trailers these days and they suck. I just same with posters, man. Posters suck. I feel like an old man, just airplane food. But
Back in my day.
every Spider-Man Homecoming poster was trash, except for an IMAX poster that was like more art. And
Yep.
like, just why?
So far,
It's
so
so
far,
easy to make a good poster. You put less.
so far,
Less is more.
exactly. Like, dude, I love like the off topic, but like the Baby Driver poster, like
I love
amazing.
everything about the movie's amazing.
So simple. I mean, Star Wars.
Especially in the Baby
pretty
Driver poster, at least the one I like the most. There's a gun, and then the bullet is the car. That's brilliant.
Yeah, when it's like flying out with
It's so
the,
smart.
the
Sony
sound
didn't
waves.
F up. I'm surprised Sony made that movie, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they just gave. This is so off topic. I think they gave him creative control.
Nah, man,
Like,
this is
speaking of
everything
posters,
podcast.
do you think we're gonna get like an official? I know like we got the teaser poster at Star Wars Celebration, but do you think we're gonna get like an official movie poster pretty soon for The Last Jedi?
No, not well. Let's see. Okay,
Maybe September.
when was it? My friend Danilo and I used to do a sports podcast. It wasn't a podcast. It was a live radio show. And one episode, I just left because they dropped the poster, and I'm trying to think when that was. It was a Sunday morning, probably. It was before October, because October was or was it?
Was it Force Friday?
No, it was a Sunday morning. I'm gonna look up on my phone. So just let's see, Force Awakens official poster reveal. Let's see what the power of Google says. New Force Awakens poster, October 18th.
Oh God, dude, that's so close to the movie.
Not really. It's 2 months. It's 2 full months away. I mean, I don't know. I like the pose. I'd be fine if it just said The Last Jedi. Personally,
Like that red font. They had those at Star Wars Celebration.
well, we're stupid. They have a poster.
Yeah, it's a teaser poster.
Yeah. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, dude, that was probably the best Star Wars poster ever.
I'm fine if they left that as the movie
It's
poster.
a
I know
great
it won't.
poster. It's a great poster.
Oh,
We
we
have
got
one.
so lucky with those.
Dude.
We got so lucky.
Yeah, but they like reprinted them. So, but they're not the same. It's not the same. Oh, I will never forget that day. But yeah, so that what were we talking about?
I was saying Ray looks really attractive, and then
Oh yeah, and then I went
Everything
Murder
else
on
doesn't
the Orient
matter.
Express. Yeah, okay, so that happened. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna reach the part of the show that we talk about some of the slightly more spoiler aspects. I wouldn't really consider. There's
Yes.
one thing regarding Finn and Rose that I genuinely might consider a spoiler, but
what about the thing? Never mind. We'll talk about it.
we'll talk about the Rose and Finn thing at the very end, just so you guys can hear everything non-spoiler or lightly spoilerish. I don't know. People get triggered these days. I saw this meme. It was this girl. It was this video. She was like, I wake up and I get triggered. Every time I eat breakfast, I get triggered. I go in the shower, I get triggered. I'm like, yeah, it's people these days, bro.
No, this is legitimately the internet. Before you even get to the next thing, I was doing a live stream on Instagram, and I won't say who the person is.
Was it the one I was in for like a minute, and then I like.
Might have been. I was talking about Star Wars, and this is someone who was being 100% serious too. And they said, "Have you heard the rumor that Kylo Ren is confirmed as as Leia and Han Solo's
wait.
son?"
Wait, what?
I was doing Instagram Live.
I know, but what exactly did they say?
He's
I'm confused.
some guy came in there. He was like, I'm 100% serious." He was 100% serious question. He was like, "Did you hear that it's confirmed that Kylo Ren is the son of Han and Leia?" And
Confirmed.
I thought it was a joke.
Adam Schefter can confirm.
Dude, like, it's not like it's
According
not
to
even one of those
sources,
things where you
Kylo
have to,
Ren
like,
is the son
yeah.
of Han Solo and Leia.
like they
Multiple
actually
sources can
said it was
confirm.
their son.
He's my son. Ben!
Ben!
Dude, I got chills when that happened.
Dude, that was a good scene.
Okay, but honestly, going back to Kylo, bro, the second I heard the name Kylo Ren, I go, okay, it's Skywalker Solo. Instantly.
Yeah, I didn't get that at
Instantly.
all.
Instantly, I thought that.
Dude, this was me. I'm like, I wonder where they came up with that name. That was me.
It was so dumb. Because I knew it immediately. I'm interested though, because they never really say if they had more kids. So that to me could be something.
Dude, Ray.
Maybe a
Just kidding.
porg.
They adopt a family of porgs. Oh, God. Okay, let's get into the article. Can
Okay.
you, before
Yeah.
anything
So
else,
we
just
just get off. I have ADD.
we both do.
I want to be a porg for Halloween. So going back to porg. So right, I already said that. Ryder. I am a mess. Actually,
This
we
isn't
didn't say
about.
that. So, Ryan Johnson talked a little bit about porgs, and he said writer director Ryan Johnson said that although Luke Skywalker retreated to Ahch-To, he didn't want the Jedi to be alone. Inspiration for porgs came during a visit to the Irish island of Skellig Michael, where the final scenes of The Force Awakens were shot. If you go to Skellig at the right time of year, you'll just be covered in puffins, and they're the most adorable things in the world, Johnson tells EW. So when we were scouting there, I saw these guys, and I was like, oh, that's part of the island. And so the porgs are in that realm. So that's Porg Talk. Porg Talk podcast. I'll be
I
down
like
for
it.
that. Yeah, so pretty much, yeah. Okay, so let's see the... Oh, yeah, so we got some Praetorian Guard info. I'm just gonna. There's kind of a lot, so I'm just gonna read it, and then we can kind of decipher it. So, quote: "The Emperor's guards were very formal, as you always got the sense that they could fight, but they didn't." Writer Director Johnson said, "They looked like they were more ceremonial, and you never actually saw them in action. Except, you remember in Episode 3, Yoda just force pushes them against the wall.
Yep.
I love that's like my
Good
favorite scene in
times.
that movie. The Praetorians, my belief to costume designer Michael Kaplan was that these guys have to be more like samurai. They have to be built to move, and you have to believe that they could step forward and engage if they have to. They have to seem dangerous. They're his personal guards, Johnson said. They stick with Snoke, so they're entirely bodyguards, similar to Rey's. Okay, and then yeah, so that's the Praetorian Guard info. Then we got some more Snoke stuff. But first, before Snoke talk, what do you think of all that? That they're sort of, we kind of already talked about it, but that they're definitely more action oriented.
Yeah, like it seems like what they've done a good job, or at least Ryan Johnson has tried to address. Um, for the most part, this new trilogy has tried to address tiny, 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 small problems or things that they didn't get perfect in the original trilogy. And I kind of like where they're going with this, with having or not the Emperor, but Supreme Leader, whatever, Snoke's bodyguards as actually having something to do. And I feel like we're going to see a lot of action between them and whoever else, maybe Rey, maybe Luke. So, yeah,
I hope they fight the like Knights of Ren at some
the
point.
nuns.
That'd be not the Nuns of Ren, the Knights of Ren. That would be kind of
Dude,
cool.
Nuns of Ren confirmed.
I hate my life. So
That's how Snoke. That's how theories start. Like that's how Reddit exists.
I don't know what's going on, but there's some more talk about Snoke, so I'm gonna read that before we go into Porgs of Ren. Similar to Rey's parentage, Snoke is here to serve a function in the story, and that story is not a Wikipedia page. He should have said Wikipedia. Damn it, Ryan Johnson. For example, in
Come
the
on.
original trilogy, we didn't know anything about the Emperor except what Luke knew about him, that he's the evil guy behind Vader. Yeah, but we didn't have an internet then. It's different now. Oh
Yep.
crap! I just pressed the wrong button. Give me 1 second. Internet changes things. But okay, yeah. He was just the evil guy behind Vader. Then in the prequels, you know everything about Palpatine because of his rise to power was the story. In The Last Jedi, Johnson says we'll learn exactly as much about Snoke as we need to. No, it's entirely motion captured performance, he also said. So it's not a puppet, contrary to some commenters on Keenan's videos. Nick Scanlon did build a mannequin, or I don't know what that word says, maquette, a maquette that we had on set for lighting reference and to give the actors a sense of what it looked like they were portraying. And we scanned that at ILM and used its renderings, but Snoke will be entirely CGI creation. So, we don't get a ton about Snoke, and he is CGI. So, Keenan, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I first of all, I like that he's CGI because that gives like complete. If he is like a huge 8 foot tall being, gives him complete mobility, and I have a lot of faith in CGI nowadays. I mean, look at what they did with Caesar and Planet of the Apes, and we have Andy Serkis
It's the
doing
same that I
that.
was going to say. It's also Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the king of what he does, and there's you'll maybe touch on it, but said
Snoke
that
did not
he's
start
killing
war.
it. Yeah, they have been saying he's killing it, like the stuff that he's been doing. Andy Serkis has been killing it. So I'm looking forward to that. And look at like something like Thanos and Avengers, completely motion capture for the most part. So
Dude, do you want your
yeah,
mind do you want your mind to be blown?
yes, please.
The actor behind Caesar is in Star Wars. Woody Harrelson is also now in Star Wars.
Oh snap! Good catch, dude.
Snoke did not start war.
But yeah, you got the king of freaking motion capture. He's been doing it since like
The
late
supreme leader
1990s.
of motion capture, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. Um,
Cringe.
so you're killing it. But what were we talking about? We're talking about Snoke.
This
Not a
podcast is already
puppet.
like 45 minutes.
I know, but it's the
It's
best
just
45 minutes of their life. Um,
I go off on tangents. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for my.
it's entertaining.
I'm literally doing it right now, talking about tangents. Okay, let's keep going. We're almost done. I promise.
So, I like everything. I love everything I hear about. Not just like I love everything that I've heard about how they're going about Snoke. I small thing. He references that in the original trilogy, you don't learn anything about Palpatine. 100% true. It makes me wonder if it's going to be like this for the entire trilogy with Snoke for this trilogy. I hope it's not. I hope we do end up learning something in the next movie. But just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, like I was kind of just saying it while I was reading that stuff. Ryan Johnson said, "Well, we didn't learn about the Emperor, dude. If the internet was back then, you know how many Emperor theories there would be?
God,
Like,
dude,
they're like Luke. They would be like Luke is the Emperor. Like,
that's
it's
really true though.
I mean, yeah, and for someone who reads everything like I do, you want it to tie in, and
Same.
like there hasn't been nothing about Snoke.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
afraid
we
of them
heard that he's
doing.
from the outer like regions, but that's just kind of connecting the dots. That's not really fact.
Scary thought. Like, what if they literally don't cover anything related to Snoke's backstory, and then they're like, "We got another trilogy coming that's like a prequel in between 6 and 7." Like,
That would
that would suck.
that's what an animated show should be for. I want an
Yep,
animated show starring Mark Hamill of the Jedi Academy.
that'd be so freaking cool.
Yes, instead we get Rebels. I mean, Rebels is okay, but
And let Mark Hamill voice him. He loves
yeah,
doing
he's
that stuff.
literally a voice actor. I'm telling you,
Freak.
man, they gotta hire me. We went off on another tangent.
We're just full of ideas. Go ahead.
Just the fact that we might not get a lot of Snook background info just pisses me off. I mean, I want to.
Yep.
I'm just so sick. I'm so sick of the theories. We got that theory that damn freaking resurrected that Han Solo ignited the lightsaber. And that theory genuinely makes me angry. That's not what Han Solo would do. He's freaking Han Solo. He shoots first. He would have stabbed Kylo Ren first. They're
Yeah.
like, no, man. Like, sorry about that, but I like being alive. It that it's, I, if we did never heard about Snoke's backstory, it'd be fine if no one could ever theorize about it. But the fact that they are theories that
It gets annoying at times.
no one can officially debunk them because we don't know. For all intents and purposes, he could be Mace Windu, but he's not. But we
Oh God.
technically don't know that he's not, and that's the frustrating thing. So every theory is technically valid, but I just need to have an end to
Yeah.
these freaking clickbait
I'm
videos.
I'm kind of right there with you. We know for a fact it's not going to get answered in this movie. So even if Rey's parentage gets answered, we still got to deal with the Snoke ones, which I like the Rey's parent, heritage theories, but the Snoke ones,
I mean,
they get out of control.
they said we learn all about Snoke that we need to. That could be
That's
I
bullcrap.
was brought from the outer regions. I mean, one sentence could solve his backstory enough. You know, like we
They're
don't
gonna
need
give us the
every
minimum.
single detail. I don't know because Ryan Johnson wrote this and he obviously knows. I mean, he's a lot of fan interaction.
Hmm.
It's tough, but let's move on because we can talk about Snoke all day. We're gonna go into Canto Bite now. Ryan Johnson was talking and he said, "I just tried to kind of ignore the aspect of it and have a story take shape that it needed." But okay. So what am I saying? Ryan Johnson was just saying how there's a parallel with episode 5. Finn and Rose are part of a squad of good guys who head off on a mission to a glamorous location, not Cloud City on the gas giant planet of Bespin this time, but at the casino metropolis of the Canto Bite of the world, Cantokia. Canto Bite is not the planet. I haven't realized that. Cantokia. That sounds cool. The whole city is kind of a sort of luxury resort that has been built on this very otherwise abandoned, arid planet. Johnson says it's like Vegas with aliens, so maybe it's just like Vegas. That's cool. Cantokia, that's a fun word to say. But, something I was talking to Keenan before the show is the fear that they will make this too similar to episode 5. Because that's the main criticism for episode 7. And while I mean, if you just beat for beat take what we know about this movie, there's a Jedi in training by a guy who hasn't really done anything in many years on his own isolated planet. We have our main male non-Jedi with a girl going to a luxurious planet. We have our Darth Vader who pretty much is, it's Kylo Ren who's pissed off and he has a mark on his face to show it. I don't think Ryan Johnson will make it parallel to episode 5, but that is a fear I have.
I think it's fair for anyone to have that kind of fear just based off of the parallel between 4 and 7. I trust Ryan Johnson enough just based off of what he said. He's clearly, I think he hates getting that criticism. I think aesthetically, the movie is going to be very different from episode 5, but I feel like plot points will be similar, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't think it's going to be beat for beat like episode 5. It's just with the criticism for 7, you got to be really careful. Because you could really turn people off for 9.
But I mean, Ryan Johnson, he's such a good writer. Such a good writer. I don't see him wanting to put himself in those shoes or put himself in position to get that same criticism that J.J. Abrams got. I just don't see him wanting to do that. And it's part of it's not his fault because, I mean, the writing for episode 7 and direction kind of sets it up for it to be just like it. You have to answer the parentage thing. You have to do the training thing just because that's a hand he was dealt, There's not a lot he can do.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, people call second movies and trilogies the Empire Strikes Back of The Dark Knight is the Empire Strikes Back of the Batman trilogy.
Right.
The Winter Soldier is the Empire Strikes Back. Because it kind of made the second movie, it gave it, plot points. So, every movie now, every second movie tries to be, it's a cliche now, it tries to be the Empire Strikes Back. Shrek 2, the Empire Strikes Back of Shrek. It's sort of like that beat. So now if you just take episode 8 as a film, don't disconnect that those two are both the same franchise. Episode 8 now is taking beats from a movie that revolutionized second films, but the problem is it's the same franchise. So
that's
it's
the difference.
Under a bigger microscope. And personally, as long as it's different enough, I'm fine with it because I want to see Rey trained. I want there to be a problem with the Resistance. I want the First Order to strike back. I want, our heroes to be handed, hard cards that they don't necessarily win. Because in The Force Awakens, I mean, Rey kind of shouldn't have beat Kylo Ren. I mean, there are reasons Kylo Ren was shot by Chewbacca's bowcaster, but
I mean, Kylo Ren technically beat her. He gave her the chance to come back. He could have pushed her off that cliff.
That is true.
He had her beat.
He has a scar now to remind himself.
Yeah, but she taps into the Force and she came back, and that's just the way I look at it. I mean, if he
She's
really
the
wanted to,
Patriots.
yeah.
Oh no, what have I done?
But oh, she's a Mary Sue, like whatever.
Dude, I
Like I
hate
hate.
Max. I hate Max Landis.
It's like the worst argument. Such a lazy argument.
I mean, I understand the argument. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Our last thing we're going to talk about on this episode of the Trey Mitchell podcast is the most spoilerish. So if you guys don't want to know anything regarding Finn and
Dude,
Rose
there's
Tico,
one more thing too. Just go ahead and discuss this. There's one more thing. I'm not sure if it's in the. I don't see any notes on it, but
okay. So pretty much what we heard, what came out of this article was after the events of The Force Awakens, Finn wakes up in his Bacta tank suit, and he tries to escape. He tries to leave. And so what this article says is, quote, Finn did his part. Starkiller Base has been destroyed. Now he wants out. Quote, it got really real for him, Boyega tells Entertainment Weekly. And he just wants to get away and not be involved. His intention in the first place was to go to the Outer Rim. He is always brought back in The Force Awakens, but this is his chance to get away, perhaps find Rey and go off together. He's trying to do that at first. Everyone in the space throughout the galaxy would have heard about the young Jedi who discovered her powers and defeated Kylo Ren and the young former stormtrooper who helped save the day, Boyega says. He's a hero to people like Rose who fight for the Resistance because their homes have been destroyed by the First Order. Finn boasts to Han Solo from the previous adventure has come true. When Rose first meets him, that's how she views him, Tran says. He's a big deal. I think this is a big deal, seamless plug, that he kind of wants to leave. You know, the Resistance. I think that's really interesting, and that's a pretty big plot point in my opinion. That's why I considered it a spoiler.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
you know, what do you? I mean, do you think that makes sense?
Uh, I feel like Finn is so freaking conflicted. He's very back and forth.
Finn is very moody.
The thing is, the only thing that got Finn back into the fight was Rey getting taken away.
Bro,
If she had not been taken away, he would be so gone.
Finn got space zoned by a girl and then he got his back slashed by it. I mean, friend zoned to a whole nother galaxy.
Feel bad. I can relate.
The only time that she kissed him, he was unconscious. Poor guy.
On the forehead.
I mean, imagine if you were unconscious and Daisy really kissed you on the forehead.
Yeah.
And you would have never known.
That's
I mean,
my worst nightmare.
I guarantee you no one was like, yeah, bro, she kind of kissed you on the forehead.
That would suck so bad.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I really don't even know how I feel about this. It could be interesting, but at the same time, I'm kind of getting, like, Finn running is, you know, is nothing new, I guess, with his character. I thought he would have moved past that at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I
at the same
guess
time, he
needs
almost
another
died.
girl. The dude only does stuff for women, if you think about it.
I know.
I mean, if Rose brings him back, different, love interest. I don't know. I kind of want to see him have his own sort of reasons why he's staying. But I mean, needless to say, it'll be cool to see how Rose sort of affects him.
I think he understands that, like, he probably doubts himself and his ability, because I mean, getting destroyed by Kylo Ren, he's probably like, whatever's going on is like way above me. Like I can't even compete with these, guys. Like this is something bigger. The Force is something big,
It's
But I mean,
to you.
where could he run to? Who knows?
I mean, the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
He has no money. He doesn't even know his name.
I don't even know, man. It's interesting. So,
Yeah. So what was the thing you were gonna say?
Okay, so in the article there was a section that was taken out, which I thought it was pretty interesting, and I'm not sure if you saw it, but there's a quote. It says, well, I'll start right here. Hamill hints that Luke has begun to doubt his own connection to the Force, wondering if he has been misreading it all this time. And then there's that section where it says, Luke made a huge mistake in thinking that his nephew was the chosen one. So he invested everything he had into Kylo Ren, much like Obi-Wan with his character, Hamill says, and he is betrayed with tragic consequences. Luke feels like he is responsible for that. That's his primary obstacle. He has to That's the primary obstacle he has to rejoining the world and his place in the Jedi hierarchy. So obviously we already knew he kind of felt guilt from what happened. The whole idea of he actually thought his nephew was the chosen one, and that's why he invested so much in him. Was really interesting to me because there's just that whole debate about like who the heck is the chosen one, you know?
I think just the last name Skywalker that makes you a chosen one.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not just one. Maybe it's the lineage, the chosen ones.
Very true.
Maybe the S and the, you know, what's the word?
Heritage.
No,
Maybe.
the prophecy.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the S in the prophecy was scribbled out, so it was like, oh, there's just one chosen person instead of like the chosen ones.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's definitely. I don't really know how much they're gonna dive into that. I mean, we've seen some sort of flashback scene. We think with Ray or with Luke and R2, seeing some sort of structure being burned down.
Mhm.
So I think we could get some more backstory of what happened. I'd really, really, really want to see that because I'm very curious to see what happened. We know that Leia says Snoke seduced our son to the dark side. So how did that happen?
Right.
I'm definitely really curious to see that, whether we see it in the movie or comic or whatever. But yeah, so unless there's anything else you want to say, I think that'll do it for this episode of the Trey Mitchell podcast.
Yeah, I love it. Everything's good with me.
True. And you just changed your Twitter handle, didn't you? To
Yep,
@Porg
Keenan
Life.
YouTube.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, at Keenan YouTube because I wanted it to be the same on both platforms. So at Keenan YouTube on Twitter and on Instagram.
Dope. Speaking of that, I also just thought of like, I want to get a shirt now that just says Porg Life. And it just says Porg on it.
Let's make it.
Would we get copyrighted?
Uh,
I'll make the chance. But yeah. Yeah, so keep a watch out for the Porg Life shirts. Anyways, that just happened. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at the Treyinator. You can find me on Instagram at Star Wars Trey. And you can find me on YouTube. Just type in Trey Mitchell Star Wars, and I'm hopefully the first Trey Mitchell will pop up. But that'll do it for the episode of the Trey Mitchell podcast. I'd like to thank my guest Keenan. And Keenan, you actually have your own podcast too, right?
yeah, the Geek Keenan podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud. New episode will be up next Monday.
Gucci, and I'm actually featured on the best episode of that.
Absolutely.
So so check that out if you don't hate me yet. So that'll do it. Hope you guys have a great day, and please make sure to comment what you thought of this episode and the things discussed in it. So that'll do it. May the force be with you always.